wonderful feeling when you're being embraced, all of those love hormones are flowing through his body and feeling all this wonderful stuff. It's from a woman. And, sex follows that. So now his idea of intimacy is merged into sex because he gets that and then sex follows. So it's been a pattern. Intimacy, sex. So intimacy to him is sex. Now we have trained ourselves to believe that the only way I'm going to get the intimacy that I so desire as a woman, I have to be prepared to give sex because that follows. So now everybody's confused. Intimacy is not sex. Sex is only a small component of intimacy. And once we realize that the intimacy is really what we want in the relationship, then we can both understand. And I tell people, when you get my book, ABCs of Intimacy, read the book together and discuss these ingredients and understand where that person is and understanding what you need from a relationship. It's very important.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel, and I've been asked this many, many times, do you feel that women are a little bit too aggressive, that they don't allow men to be men?
I do. I said it's sad that women tend to think these days that being traditional is crazy. They don't want to do it. But I think men are still very traditional. They want to feel good about the woman they bring home. They want to be the man. If you are constantly going Dutch on every date, how is he really going to express himself as a man if you're constantly you put your credit card down or you grab the check and pay it, and he's going like, wow, my dad taught me to pay and she's grabbing the check. Okay. If you don't get a call back from that guy, that could be the reason. Or you don't let him open the door for you. Or you're this independent woman who says, I don't need a man, I want a man. Well, you can't have one without the other. You cannot, everybody wants to be wanted and needed. So if you want a man, you need for him to want you back. So vice versa, you cannot have one without the other. So all this independent woman crap, you know what? You are a human being. You want to feel loved and give love. You may not need him for financial reasons, but you need a man to balance out the male and female energy. Heterosexual men are attracted to women who are opposite him. He doesn't want a woman who is more like a man at home. He wants a woman that's going to allow him to be the man, be your protector, be your strength, your rock, your hardness. You're his softness, his nurturing, his caring. We got to balance that out and stop making men feel like they are not needed.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that wholeheartedly. So you're really great. And I think your book is awesome. So I definitely want to recommend that. ABC Intimacy. So definitely, we'll put that on the website too. So that way everyone can find it pretty easily and be able to get a copy of that. So I think it's very important that they read that. As you're moving forward and you're wanting to get out there and you start dating, a lot of individuals, they get to a roadblock and they don't really kind of know what to do. They go on these dating sites. There's like a smorgasbord, or they don't really know where to start. Do you have any recommendations for anyone that's starting out, going to look at going on any of these dating sites? Any tips at all you can give them?
Yeah, there's so many things you can do. Okay, make sure you have a really nice photograph of just you in the photograph that really shows your personality. Be authentic. Say what you like to do in your profile. Don't just say what you're looking for. Talk about what you're interested in. They're looking for male or female and age range. You can put all that in there. But, think about if you're being really strict about what you're looking for, you cut out a big chunk of opportunities out there. Also, be cautious. There's a lot of creeps out there who are putting up fake profiles, and it's just amazing how many times on the news you see someone got taken for some money because this guy wasn't really who he said he was online. They're sending money to these guys. Be careful. Don't get catfished and fall into something that the person is really not who they are. And be safe on the end of if you meet face to face, meet in a public place and only limit about 45 minutes for that initial meeting. That way you can see if there's any chemistry, and you can also see if there's any attraction. And you'll know, and you'll spend 45 minutes and then you'll be over it. And be honest with that person. Say, you know what, you're a nice guy, but I just don't think we clicked. And leave it at that. That way he doesn't know where you live. You've not wasted a bunch of money or a bunch of time, and you won't get stalked. Or you won't get hurt just showing up at someone's house. I don't care if he's promising dinner, let me cook you dinner, whatever. Don't go to someone's house that you don't know.
Right, absolutely. And don't invite him to your house too.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of ladies were telling me that they would invite them over, and then in their mind, a guy's mind, they think that's for sex, and they just wanted to have them come over for dinner. So it's like, okay, you got to make sure you're on the same wave level and make sure there's totally an understanding there. So what you're doing. You're listening to Dr. Kat. This is Cece with Going Solo. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. When we come back, Dr. Kat is going to answer some more of those great dating questions.
Hey world, this is your girl, Dr. MV, and I am your host for Singles Get Real, which airs every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is a show where we talk about being single, real questions, real answers, real stories, real people. If you have any questions regarding how to lead a successful single life, if you have concerns, whatever the case may be, this is the show to tune into. I would inspire you and encourage you to send me your questions to drmvspeak@gmail.com. This show is hosted by WGSN-DB online radio, Going Solo After Dark people. You do not want to miss this show. Every week, we're talking about real topics that would inspire you to lead a successful single life.
Welcome back. This is Cece with Going Solo, and we have with us Dr. Kat. Dr. Kat is an intimacy specialist. She specializes in helping those to get real about their relationships. So welcome back, Dr. Kat. Let's head right back into some of those great dating questions. Let me ask you, because a lot of individuals that I deal with too also are coming from relationships where someone has stepped out on them, they've cheated on them. It's been very difficult for them to be able to go back, start their lives again. They keep reflecting back on that. There's been some abuse. Maybe not so much sexual, but verbal abuse. So they're really down, and it's hard for them to be able to start. Number one, they're trying to work on themselves, getting themselves back up a little bit and healed from that. But how do you, and how would you recommend them to be able to step out into dating again when someone's cheated on you and you've got that betrayal that you still have to deal with?
Well, the good thing about it, there's also a positive in that, is that you can remember some things to kind of trigger, like, hey, I've noticed this behavior in a past relationship, so I don't like this, let me move away. Before your emotions get too tied into another relationship. After you've gone on your transition and you've healed, okay, you've given yourself some time to really focus on yourself, it's okay to get out there and start seeing other people. I always say, don't bring your baggage with you. Take just the good things about the relationship with you, the fun stuff. You can remember. You can forgive and remember. You don't have to forget things because you're also learning. If you've gone through that experience, that person crossed your path for a reason. What are you going to learn from that relationship? You learn to spot behavior that is a deal breaker for you. And you can just say, oh, no. Not calling back when they say they're going to call back, standing me up, not showing up until an hour later for date, not being reachable, all these different things that you may have experienced with that person. What are those habits or behaviors that are deal breakers for you? So now you can identify those and you can move away if you see that in someone else you start to date. And that will keep you from being hurt. Don't bring the bad baggage in to where you are not trusting and you're not just always accusing the person, or you're just jealous or whatever. Don't bring that bad behavior into the next relationship. You should go into each relationship loving as passionately as you did in the last one.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Something that I tend to think about too when I'm experienced, because I was out there dating and experiencing a lot of these things. And sometimes I would get a little bit depressed. I was dating and then it wasn't really working out for me. And I would think, oh gosh, I can't believe, here I am. What's wrong with me? This type of thing. But then I started realizing as I continue to grow and doing a lot of self-analyzing and healing and all of that for my own personal self, what I realized that those individuals that I met, when I started to see that there was a problem, or maybe they weren't necessarily for me, there was certain aspects of that individual that I didn't really care for, and I decided I didn't want that in my life, then I realized that, you know what, then I'm being shown something. I'm being shown, number one, like you said, that there was a pattern that I'm selecting the wrong kind of man, attracted to the man that's not really suited for me. And then the other thing is I realized that I started to accept and understand what I really did want, because I think I didn't really know at the beginning. And when I'm talking to a lot of individuals out there that are doing the transition of dating, they really don't know what it is that they do want, and they're feeling their way. So I always tell them when they meet someone, it didn't work out, it's not that they're not going to meet someone, because they most certainly are going to meet someone. It's that they're on their journey, they're on their path to meet someone. And so whenever a relationship didn't work out for whatever reason, that you're just one step closer to meeting the right one.
I so agree with that last statement. Yes, yes, yes. Just think of it as checking off tick marks, It's like, oh, that one didn't work. I'm getting closer. It's like doing a walk, and you have to go so many miles to your goal, It's like, yeah, you got to go through quite a few guys to find that perfect one, or quite a few girls. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to live years. So there's nothing wrong with meeting and getting to know lots of people. But it's like finding your favorite food. You've got to eat lots of dishes to say, oh my God, that is one of my favorite meals. We have to stop thinking that getting online and going through a bunch of pictures is going to land us the perfect man. We have to have face-to-face time. We have got to see what the chemistry. We're human beings for a reason. We have to interact with people. We have to be able to touch them and get a sense of what they are like in person. We can read all day long about what someone is like, but until we meet them face to face, we don't know if we're going to have that connection. I always say, pull back on the online dating thing for a minute and go do something you enjoy. Get on a sand volleyball team and play volleyball or baseball or softball or whatever. Go learn a cooking class or go to a different club. Go to the YMCA or YWCA. Go and do things that you love. People will see that in you, and you'll meet people with like interest, and you'll possibly meet someone that way. But you're enjoying your life. You're not trying to fit in a box online that will make you stand out from all the other people on there trying to meet someone. Go enjoy your life. Interact with people.
I love that. I really do, because I think that when you go out and you do stuff that you really enjoy doing, or you do something different you've never done before, there's a lot of an excitement that happens within you. And it's almost like you turn on a light. It's like you're shining. And I think that when you're out there doing things like that, where you're loving your moment, you're radiating. And I just think that that's when you will find someone that will be attracted to you, and you might very well be attracted to them. And there again, like you said, Dr. Kat, it's so very important to meet someone that likes doing the things that you like doing. So if you get out there and do the things that you like doing, you're going to meet someone that likes to do those things too.
Another thing, just to add to that, is ladies, when you're going out and you're meeting people, try to do some things alone. Don't go in a pack. I always use lunch as a great opportunity. If you can get out for lunch from your job, find places where the kind of man you want to meet or the kind of woman you want to meet, and go out for lunch by yourself. and be approachable. It's a simple thing, but you would be surprised